Sooner Nation, welcome back to the Sooner Surge Softball Edition.
Oh,
It's been a while. Softball viewers, I hope you're still out there ready for this season, following our channel. We haven't gone away. There's just not been much happening. But today is 53 days away from Puerto Valera, the opening game against Utah Valley. Also, OU will go into that game, Jay, riding a 53 game winning streak. So 53 seems to be the number today. So we thought it was appropriate to do a video and just kind of catch up and talk about thoughts as we enter into this new year, Jay. Since last time we've done a video, many things have happened. You had the battle series that ended. You had the Sooner squad visiting the White House, which was pretty cool. You have other things that have happening with Love's Field. They had the reunion of the team that won the national title years ago. Patty Gasso showed them around inside Love's Field. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things on the horizon. But, yeah, 53-game win streak is in the balance, and we're 53 days away, Jay. How you feeling about Sooner softball?
excited, as always, for softball. Always excited for it. And this is the time of year. It is slow right now for softball, but as soon as they get back in school in January, it's going to be ramped up and ready to go. And it is cool to see the stuff like the White House, Washington, D.C. visit, and just seeing that camaraderie the team has. Along with, hey, I think they were one of the programs at OU that had a 100% graduation rate, I believe, as well, which is a great achievement. And I'm just super excited. After the battle series, there was some players on the team that I wanted to see more of on the battle series, and you saw it, like Hannah Core, just an outstanding battle series. And that's just one of the few, but a lot that I'm excited about for this year. I'm also excited to see how Carly Keeney comes back off that injury. Should be back probably, I'm thinking mid-February. Maybe we'll see, but I'm interested to see how she comes back because that's another pitcher in that rotation that we haven't seen yet. We saw all the rest of them at the battle series. So interested to see Keeney out there. She's got great stuff. She's been around. She's a veteran. Really excited to see her.
Yeah, and I mean, she's not the only one coming off the injury. I'm
No.
excited. Sydney Sanders, we didn't get to see
Yeah.
in the battle series, and she was improving at the end of last year. So I think, to me, some questions, not question marks, because they're not really concerns for me. There's not much that concerns me about this team and going in the 2024 season. But one would be the health of Sydney Sanders, how she looks as she's coming off the injury, and the one you mentioned as well, Jay, with Carly Keeney. And then there's some young ones that really we didn't get to see a lot of, honestly, in the battle series. So I'm excited to see as the new year begins and it starts ramping up, seeing those young ladies in action and practice as we get closer to Puerto Valera. But Velarda, I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah. Hey, what about Hannah Core? Let's talk about her for a second. What an outstanding battle series. But what do you think going into next year as far as – because back injuries, it's tough. I mean, it is. And she's fought through it. But what realistically do you think next season coming up for her as far as can she be that? I mean, I think she can be that everyday player. But do you think injury-wise, how do you think that's going to affect?
Look, if they didn't have any depth, I would say she'd play, a 3-game series, she'd play all 3. Just my personal opinion, I think, is, and look, we know it bothers her. We also had the strength and conditioning coach on, and he talked about how she gives so much effort despite he even knows that, she's battling some things. But, I think right now with the depth they have, Jay, that in a 3-game set, maybe she goes 2 of the 3. I don't know specifically how that's going to look. But I do know one thing. She's got to be playing because she's too great of an athlete, too great of a player. And I tell you, after having him on, the strength and conditioning coach, Jay, I'm super excited to see them on the base pads this year.
Yeah, that's probably what I took from his time on our podcast the most. And kind of, I think a few people have hinted around about it. Just one thing that they could probably, I don't want to say do better, but do more of would be stealing bases and on the base pads. And they haven't really, I wouldn't say they really went and just kind of explored that as a thing that they're just going to dominate to. But it sounds like that's really what they're wanting to do, a lot more of that. Is that what it sounded like to you too? They're wanting to do.
I
I
mean,
think you even said lead the league, lead the nation in stolen bases. So, and here's the deal: you got a lot more speed, I think, on this team than you've had on previous teams.
no doubt, Jay. They have more speed, and obviously, this is something that's intentional. You don't write a goal out, you don't talk about a goal unless it's intentional. So they're intending to do this, and I'm sorry, I wouldn't bet against them because usually when this OU softball program has intentions, they definitely meet those goals and intentions that they have. I'm also, Jay, there's some big games early. Uh, there's a couple good tests early on in the year. So, I mean, as soon as they start and ramp up, it's going to be go time. And we'll see what this number 53 gets to, Jay. That's what I want to know. How
Yeah,
high is it going?
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And I mean, obviously, the without Jordy Ball, I'm also interested to see. I know they're very, very deep in pitching, very deep, and 6 pitchers deep. But you also don't have that Jordy, but you don't have Jordy Ball. So who is going to be maybe the? I don't want to use the word ace because I think they're all very good and could be aces. But who's going to maybe be the leader of that pitching staff? Somebody like Jordy Ball was kind of vocal. She was kind of a fiery person. Who on this pitching staff do you think is going to be that fireball, that fiery person to get them going?
Again, I don't know that they I'm not going to say they have a Jordy Ball in that aspect, Jay. I'm going to say they have a lot of great pitchers and they have a lot of good leaders on the staff.
Correct.
They're just different. They're not as far as vocal as Jordy Ball. I don't think that's an issue. I don't think it's a problem.
I don't either.
I'm not saying it's a downgrade. I just think this staff is different. I'm excited to see the 6-headed monster, I guess you could say, on the stat up there in the mound because they're flat out nasty with the pitches they have. They're all different in how they bring it to the plate. You've got speed, you've got changeup with S.J. Guerin, you've got velocity with Monticelli, you got all of the above with some of them. I mean, it's just going to be exciting to see this staff working together, Jay.
Yeah, and before we close here, one final question I'm going to say is we're getting closer, and I would think the announcement is going to be coming fairly soon. But who is this year's captain, Jeremy?
I'm going to say Kenzie Hansen, Jay.
And I'm going to go with Jada Coleman. So
okay, drop it. Yeah, you guys drop it in the chat because I don't think you can go wrong with any of
that's
these
if there's one. Maybe they'll do
That's
multiple.
if there's one. There may be multiple. Also, drop it in the chat, guys, in the comment. How high is the number 52? How high is it going to go with this win streak? Does it get to triple digits? Drop it in the chat. It's been a while, Sooner Surge softball fans. Glad, hope you're all doing well. Wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Want to say a big thanks for being part of the Sooner Surge. Until next time, Boomer.
Sooner.